Welcome to Texas, where we have had approximately 120,000 race fans flocking through the gates to attend this year's United States Grand Prix. They're excited, we're excited. I hope you're excited too. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Norris, George Russell and Verstappen, Hamilton, Piastri, Albon and Liam Lawson, Hadjar, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz and Stroll, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Ollie Behrman and Gabriel Bortoleto. Doohan and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometers an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Yeah, radio check.
Okay, you've got front wing damage, but only have a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out. Okay, DRS is now available. Fantastic. 2 cars at once. Really well done. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
I'm not sure I should be happy for that, but I'm actually happy, so good.
He came, he saw, he conquered. It's victory for Gabriele Bortoleto.
And now with 4 race victories in a row, Crofty, it shows the power that they have, this stranglehold on the championship, and it's for the others to try and stop them before it's too late.
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. And that top spot waits for 1 driver. Today, it's Gabriele Bortoleto. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Norris, Max Verstappen, and Russell, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Hadjar, and Lance Stroll, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, and Lawson, Bortoletto, Doohan, Pierre Gasly, and Nico Hülkenberg. Ocon and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, mate, radio check, please, radio check.
Radio's good.
Okay, mate, that was an illegal manoeuvre. You've got to cede that position or we'll receive a penalty. We can now use DRS. DRS now available. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
It's quite good.
And it's a win, and what a win for Gabriele Bortoleto.
I mean, I'm tempted, Crofty, to use the boring word. Not quite yet, but I don't know how the others will be feeling at this stage in the championship, because they've got that dominance on their side. Clearly, they'll be looking at the championship now.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. Congratulations and well done. It's Gabriele Bortoleto. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.